On December 20, 1943, an American B-17 bomber named Ye Old Pub was limping home after a bombing mission over Germany. The aircraft had been torn apart by flak and fighters. Crew members were wounded. One gunner was dead. Engines were failing. Systems were destroyed. Large holes were ripped through the fuselage. The bomber's pilot was 21-year-old Charles Brown. This was not just his first difficult mission, it was his first mission, period. A German ace named Franz Stigler spotted the crippled aircraft and climbed to finish it off. One more kill would have brought him within reach of one of Germany's highest combat decorations. As he pulled alongside the bomber, he could see inside through the damage. He saw wounded men trying to save each other. He saw a crew that could barely defend itself. And he remembered something a commander had once told him. "If I ever hear of you shooting a man in a parachute, I'll shoot you myself." To Stigler, the bomber was already beaten. Years later, he said, it was like shooting at a parachute. So he lowered his guns. Stigler pulled alongside the American bomber and tried to signal Brown. He attempted to convince them to divert to neutral Sweden, where they could receive medical treatment and be interned for the rest of the war. The Americans couldn't understand what he was trying to tell them. Then Stigler made an even riskier choice. He flew escort beside the B-17. German anti-aircraft crews were less likely to fire at a bomber flying wingtip to wingtip with a German fighter. His presence actually helped protect the Americans. He stayed with them until they reached open water. Then he saluted and turned away. The bomber made it home. Every surviving crewman lived because of that decision. But the story vanished. Brown reported the incident, but Allied officers ordered it kept quiet. Stigler never spoke publicly because helping the enemy could have resulted in severe punishment if discovered. For nearly 50 years, neither man knew the other's name. After decades of searching, Charlie Brown finally found the German pilot in 1990. The two men met. Instead of enemies, they became close friends. They stayed friends for the rest of their lives and died only months apart in 2008. Franz, most war stories are about destruction. Yours is about restraint. You didn't end a war. You didn't save a nation. You simply chose, in a moment when nobody would have blamed you for pulling the trigger, to remain human. The forces that shaped your entire life, your country, your commanders, your career, the medal waiting just beyond that one easy kill, every single one of them was telling you to fire. And you were one trigger pull away from the approval of everyone around you. Mercy is easy when nothing is at stake. What you showed that day means something because everything was at stake. History remembers the aces for the planes they shot down. You are remembered for the one you didn't. And somewhere, an American pilot spent 40 years searching for the name of the man who could have killed him. and didn't. Because he never forgot what you chose. We salute you, Franz, and you too, Charlie, at the last witness.
December wind, a German field, gray sky hanging low. A tired ace with 22 marks, watching the winter blow. And sirens cried and the engines roared, another bomber in the blue. Just one more kill and a cross of iron, waiting just beyond my view. I climbed that Messerschmitt through the clouds, found him limping all alone. His tail shot off and fuselage torn, barely dragging himself home. I eased in close for my easy mark, the county writes your name beside. And I looked through the holes and saw men fighting to survive. I heard an old commander's voice from years I thought were gone. He said, son, there will likely come a time when no one sees what you will do, when glory rides upon your shoulder and your soul rides on one too. So I laid my finger off the trigger, though the metal called my name, and I lost the cross I could have carried, but I kept the man I am. History counts the planes I downed and the victories I won, but the one they still remember is the one I helped fly home. The guns below could have finished him, the coast was still ahead. So I flew beside that broken bird, shooting wounded men instead. I waited for Sweden, he shook his head, neither one could understand. Just two young pilots in a winter sky, with the world in bloody hands. And I laid my finger off the trigger, though the metal called my name, and I lost the cross I could have carried, but I kept the man I am. And history counts the planes I downed and the victories I won, but the one they still remember is the one I helped fly home. Wars are built by governments and paid for by the young. Farm boys from West Virginia and sons of Bavaria. The papers write of battles won and cities burned below, but they rarely tell the story of the mercy people show. So I took my finger off the trigger and watched that fortress fade, turned my fighter to the homeland with a debt I'd never trade. No ribbon pinned upon my jacket, no knight's cross on my chest, a salute above the North Sea, and a choice that stood the test. Now the years have all gone drifting like contrails in the sun, and my greatest victory wasn't won, it was spared when I let that bomber run. Some men are measured by the lives they take, some by battles fought and won. But every now and then a man is measured by the trigger he leaves alone.